Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Scene Snobs Podcast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, joined, as always, by my partner on this magic carpet ride, the man, the myth, the legend, Trick or Treat, Paul Dunn. How you doing, buddy?
I'm glad to be back. I'm doing good, man. You know?
Oh, I'm glad you're back. We missed you, man. I know you're on a short hiatus. He had a lot of busyness to get to in the Halloween Town world. He's helping build out their new party this year for Jack Skell. You are all in on Snobtober already.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. We love Halloween here, and we love horror movies. So make sure you guys are subscribed and hanging out with us and checking out all the stuff we're doing. We're doing all horror movies on Classic Film Reviews. Does It Suck? We're doing our top fives as horror movies or horror movie adjacent. It's going to be it's our favorite genre, so kind of do it. And before we get to our reviews, we have a very special guest tonight. Roseann Harpold, who's the founder of HauntFest, is going to be here tonight. She's going to be talking about it, a couple events coming up for HauntFest, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But let me read off something for you so you know exactly what's going on with them right now. Excuse me, on this podcast, I must clear my throat. HauntFest will be setting up shop in Athens, Georgia at the B&B theaters for the release of the Conjuring Last Rites. God, I wish I could be there for that. This sounds awesome. Come get some sick photo ops with HauntFest characters. Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I've never heard that for a haunt before, so that's awesome. Characters at our photo booth for our HauntFest Meets the Conjuring event on September 6th. So if you're in the Athens, Georgia section of that state, but if you're over there in that area, make sure you go check this out because this is going to be a great time. HauntFest and our featured vendor, Gay of the Dead, will be tabling in the lobby. Make sure you get all their information and such, see what they got, because there's always some cool. The theater also serves food with a full bar. Yeah, I know Paul's happy about that. So get comfortable and hang around with us. And if you want to RSVP to this event, I'm going to stick this right in the comments, and it will also be available over on our in the description. Let me do that. So this sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. There's another event too I will talk about in just a moment, but I got you guys to sign up and RSVP for both of them. I want to share these links out for you guys. So
heck yeah.
Make sure you're checking that. There you go. That is the event for tomorrow at B&B. Make sure to sign up. All right. Let's talk about their next one that's coming up in October. So after this event, HauntFest will be crawling its way to Simpsonville, South Carolina. Never been there. It sounds awesome, though. For the fright of a lifetime at historic Hopkins Farm Haunted Hayride. That sounds, that's a lot of H's, and I love tongue twisters. So I'm all about it. We will be spicing up the opening nights of the Hayride from October 24th and 25th with the Haunted Fest mini event to keep the queue line on their toes. Ooh, that's good. See additional information here. We have links that are going to go with it. Vendor applications are open for this event. Hauntfest.net. You can go check them out. Again, everything is in the description. You can go fill out for it, even the vendor link. But I am going to share the RSVP on Facebook for this event. And I think you guys should go check this out as well. And South Carolina and Georgia are not far from each other. So make sure you go out and check out. So let me share that out for you guys. Make sure to sign up in RSVP so they know you're coming. But we're going to get started. We have a review, of course, to kick off the show. And if you haven't seen it, then what's wrong with you? Because it's the Toxic Avenger. We love it here. Well, I don't know if Paul loved it, but I know I did. Yes, he did too. The Toxic Avenger is a remake of a 1984 trauma film that Lloyd Kaufman produced. Michael Hers directed it. It is an off-the-wall, completely absurd film. Anything done by Troma is. It is truly independent. It is truly guerrilla. And it is truly disgusting at times, but in all the best ways. I feel like the absurdity that somebody like Lloyd Kaufman sees is a way he sees his perception of seeing the world is so much better than ours. That's where the absurdity comes from. He truly knows all of the craziness that's going on, and he's showing it in his. And this one is a remake of that by Macon Blair. This was a fun movie from beginning to end. Peter Dinklage plays Toxie in this movie. Jacob Tremblay plays his stepson. Kevin Bacon's the bad guy in the film. And there's a slew of other famous actors and such you're going to love to see in this. It was filmed out in Bulgaria, and it tells the tale of a janitor at a toxic waste facility who gets dumped into toxic waste by a group of bad guys and gets transformed into the Toxic Avenger. Now, the very cool change that they did from the original movie to this is that they put a story to it. Let's be real. It's not just some bullies beat up and put them in toxic waste. They put a story with a lot of heart. He is a stepfather who's trying to do the best he can for his kid after his mother passed away, and he's trying to make ends meet and work as hard as he can to get there and build that relationship. So when he is diagnosed with a terminal illness, he's doing whatever he can to try and get better so he could be there for his son. And then he turns into the Toxic Avenger. But I love that they're shining a light on medical terminal illnesses and things like that, but also not being able to pay medical debt. They took $5 million from their marketing budget and put it towards unpaid medical or undue medical, which pays for people's medical expenses that are getting at hand and they just can't afford at the moment. They go to help you out, and every $1 million of tickets sold, they matched $1 million. So I hope you guys went and saw this. If it's still in theaters, please go and see it. But overall, this movie added a lot of heart to it. There's still a crazy amount of absurdity. It has a cleaner look to it, of course, because it's all has a lot more money put into it than 1984 ever did. But it's great acting in these absurd roles, and I had so much fun with it. But the heart is there. You care about Toxie. You care about everybody in this film and what's going on. And I just, as a New Jersey native, I absolutely adored seeing the Toxic Avenger come back. What did you think?
I think I'm curious how many toxic waste dumps you tried to jump into to see.
I never did that. There are no toxic waste dumps, and there are no toxic waste dumps in New Jersey. But of course, the original and this one take place in Jersey, because that's just when we all know it was Staten Island. We all know it's Staten Island. But seriously, though, have you ever seen the original?
Yeah, no, I love the original. So I was kind of ecstatic to see this. Honestly, when I first saw the lineup of the big name actors, I was scared it was going to be ruined, to be 100%. Because so I kind of went in there very, I don't even know what I thought, because it wasn't negative. I just didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, because I think it lived up to the potential of the first one. The original had the almost shock value of the absurdity, right? So it was fun. The story was there. But like you said, they added enough to where you absolutely love the characters. Kill scenes were good. It was creative. I couldn't get enough of it. I was laughing half the time.
But the gore wasn't disgusting.
Right.
It worked. It worked within that absurd framework that they were going for, where it's so over embellished and exaggerated that it works for what we're watching, for sure. We're watching a toxic waste mutant beat up bad guys, and Kevin Bacon. So like it is that I think that helped it in so many levels to add that over the top. Like in the original, there was a lot of stuff, but a lot of it was guerrilla filmmaking. So it wasn't that clean. It wasn't that interesting to be on it. But yeah, no, I mean, for you though, like what you gave it a 3. I also gave it a 3 out of 5. What is it about this movie that you would say like you got to go see?
I just, if you've never seen it before and you just happen to like horror, or maybe, you're not the biggest into horror, it's just a lot of fun, you guys. Like, I don't think it's one that only horror fans should be seeing, Toxic Avenger. If you not a huge fan of horror, I don't think it's, it's not The Conjuring. It's not something like that.
No, not a comedy to it.
Yeah. And I think it's just enjoyable. I think it's one that kind of I'm not going to say everyone can watch, but I don't know. I really enjoyed Peter Dinklage. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for him. So I immensely enjoyed his act throughout the entire.
Yeah, I did. He added a lot of gravitas to the Toxic character. And I would actually almost say, if nobody's seen the original, because the original is way worse. For a lot of reasons. Got away with a lot more in the 80s, especially 84, before PG-13 came about. The original never get anyway. But I would say, like, if you watch this movie and then you're like, I want to go back and watch expect it to be different. Don't expect to be a same level story. If you're getting into that movie, I think you have to really enjoy what trauma is and maybe start with something a little lighter before you jump right into it. I had a great time.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. They actually showed that when I was in college. That's how I met Lloyd.
Right.
Uncle Lloyd is the man, dude. He's off the wall. He's crazy. He is every bit of absurd as he is. But like that, yeah, he showed Poltergeist down there. Yeah. It is. It's a great community. It's a great time. And I'm so glad they got to remake this movie. I thought it worked. I kind of hope it does well. Maybe we'll get a sequel. We'll see. This already took a few years to already get done. Any more final thoughts about this one? Or
I just wish, no offense to you guys, Toxic Avengers, media team, marketing. I didn't realize they were giving money away. If I had known that I want to use my Regal Pass, I would have paid full price for a ticket. I had no idea until you just said, and I think
I can't believe
that's a really good cost.
What is wrong with you? Why would you say that? How would you know? They took $5 million from their marketing budget and put it towards charity.
But they should have told me. I don't know.
How are they going to tell you they used the money? You're a real jerk. Of course. It is. I mean, of course, it's a low budget film, so the marketing for it was lower. Plus, it took a long time to come out. But the fact that they even did that or were willing to do that blows my past. Shows a lot of care and love. But we have talked about the Toxic Avenger. If you want to talk more about it, we have other videos as well where we will be doing that, and you can check out. Or you can read my full review over on our Substack or Letterboxd. All right. But we're going to get started. We have a fun time. I want to thank our sponsor of this show, Lush. I can never say their name. Lush Trowin. They are very good with their shades and their blinds and things like that. You get 20% off. The link is down below. We've talked about it on the show. You could go check out our stuff, but we appreciate you as a sponsor coming. They make the best shades and blinds. Actually, my wife wants to get their bamboo. We'll see what happens, but it is available. So we have a very special guest, and we're going to be talking haunts because it's that season. It's a good time. And I know Paul loves the haunts. He's all about them. Yes. So how about we welcome our very special guest, Miss Roseann Harpold, the founder of HauntFest. Thank you. Welcome. How are you?
Hello. I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us to talk to us about HauntFest. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Well, let's kind of dive right in. So when did you start HauntFest? Let's start there.
Well, it started as kind of an accident. I was a student at UGA, and my big idea was I wanted to have a haunted theme park one day. It just popped into my head, and I was determined to do it. So I joined the entrepreneurship program and went into an idea accelerator through that program in February of 2023. And we were supposed to test our big ideas using smaller ideas. And so the first thing, someone go to a haunted event outside of just October. And we were supposed to just come up with like a fake thing and see if people would be interested in that fake thing. But I got feeling guilty about that. And I was like, I actually think I might just do it for real because a lot of people were excited about it. And so May of 2023 is when we held our very first HauntFest. And it was a great turnout. And that's kind of how this whole thing started.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And so I'm guessing you were a fan of like haunts through your life, like to be able to want to do this and for it to become a passion.
Absolutely. My dad actually held a haunted house in our home growing up. So ever since I was, I don't know how old, a baby, he's been having a haunted house for our small local community that's been free. And so I've acted in it since I was a toddler, and the creepy little girl singing lullabies and stuff.
That's too scary.
That, and he's had holiday parties every year. So it definitely stemmed from the family thing, and looking forward to that every year.
I love that. That's awesome. That's really fantastic. You get the love from your father for towards the haunts. I do want to ask though, I know with haunts, it's very like the set dressing and the makeup effects and things like that. Is that something a hobby or skill that you picked up along the way that you were just really interested in, or stuff like that?
I definitely had a blast coming up with character. I ended up kind of settling on a zombie in a nightgown kind of character in the haunt. So I would always do some sort of new makeup trend each time. And then I discovered that oatmeal and liquid latex was great for making like kind of burn scar looking stuff and just gross stuff all over my face. So I definitely got into that on the side, and would help my parents and stuff at parties to do their makeup. But, I haven't done it professionally or anything. I don't want to say I'm great at it, but I do really enjoy that aspect.
I mean, it's such an important one too. And like, it's becoming like, especially with cosplay becoming bigger and bigger over the years too. And such, like the knowledge people have, like I was not great at makeup effects. I'm not going to lie. It was never one of my strong suits. So I just always admired it from afar. So how much of the practical effects did you have to study to get into even building out, some of these effects in the set dress effects that are makeup?
Oh, gosh.
So much, right?
I'm not quite. Can you rephrase that question?
Sure. Absolutely, I get it. I ask them weird all the time. It's so like you had to like I guess kind of go with running HauntFest like this and having all of these events.
Yes.
How much studying did you have to go into like how the set dressing at a haunt works or the makeup effects and such? How much did that go into?
So I will back up just a little bit with the haunt. So we do have typically a haunt at every one of our events, but our primary event is like a big party. So we have vendors and music and snakes you can hold and kittens in Halloween costume, all of that. So the haunted attraction is kind of a side piece. It's a big side, but it is, kind of an attachment to that. And so as far as the haunted attraction goes, just from doing the one at home, I learned a lot. We do, like at home, we've done some fun tricks, like with a Ouija board, having magnets underneath to spell people's names that are in the groups going by. And we've had clowns on zip lines that would come down at you and stuff like that. But with HauntFest, it's a little more difficult because all of our events are temporary. I mean, it's just for a weekend. You can't really build out near as much as you could in a full permanent haunt. So there's been a lot of trial and error with that because some venues, it's just an open field. What do you do with that? It's like you have to come up with some sort of structure. Either you build something, you hang black plastic, you do whatever you can. So there's been a lot that I've had to learn kind of on my own. And I have reached out to Leonard Pickle a couple times asking kind of some advice because, he's great at that. But yeah, every venue is totally different. I have to start completely over mostly each time that we try to do it again. So sorry, that's kind of a long-winded answer, but
No, I appreciate that. How much planning and preparation, like how far out do you start? Like, I guess what I'm wondering is like, so like B&B theater, you get asked to come and do the Conjuring, which by the way, it's characters. You get asked to come and do the event and so you're setting up. I love the idea of like, you're making it sort of a party, like come out, it's like a festival. And I love that. That's the way it should be but like, when do you go to B&B and you start planning? Like I would imagine you have to go there early, start looking at things, see what you can do and stuff. Like for any type of typical event, like how far out does planning go?
So for any of our large festivals, which B&B, this event is just more of a promo thing. It's just come hang out with us, meet everybody, get photos, learn about our future events. Same with, we have a haunted attraction event in February on Friday the 13th that's similar to that. So for things like that, you don't really have to do a ton of pre-planning. I mean, there's maybe some decorating involved and preparing the actors and everything. But for our big events, the festivals, which those are going to be starting again in 2026. We've got 2 already in the books that I can bring up. But I start planning at least 4 months in advance. Now, as far as going to the venue and building things, that's totally up to what the venue allows us to do because, we don't own the space. And so some of them are, functioning all the time. And they're like, you only have 4 days to set up, and then we panic and we try to do everything in 4 days. Whereas other venues are a lot more laid back and you can go in, 4 weeks in it and start setting. But as far as the entire thing, at least 4 months in advance, preferably more.
So to talk about the B&B event, which is going on tomorrow, B&B Theaters, again, Athens, Georgia, for anybody who's looking, the link is in the comment and down in the descriptions. Something like that, which now you're going to be at a theater. It's Friday, it's Saturday. It's going to be very busy, I'm sure. How do you see it sort of playing out, like with the scaring characters? Are you going to be in the theater? And I'm not asking for any particulars because I want people to be very scared. But, like kind of how do you plan that out in the theater? Like what do you look for? How many people do you bring? You're prepping?
So for this particular event, we've done an event with them in the past. It's very similar for the release of the Exorcist movie last year. But essentially HauntFest has our little information table. So for people who want to learn more about our events next year, you can go there, get merch, all that stuff. We'll have like a cornhole game that's themed for HauntFest and just, silly little things like that. But then we have our characters come and, however many are available. And this time we've got quite a few coming that are going to all be in the lobby. So as soon as you walk in, you're at risk of being, scared by any one of our actors. And they are good at hiding as well. So even just walking through the lobby, you're going to be on your toes and there's no way you can miss it.
Oh my God.
But there's a hallway, between the lobby and going to the movies. And I can imagine that there will be some action in there as well.
Do you think you'd be getting some of the goers for other movies outside of The Conjuring?
Yes. In fact, last year when we did this, there was also a release for a children's movie. I don't remember what it was. It was like, I don't know if it was Trolls. It was something. So that was interesting. But they will back off. If you are obviously bothered by it, or if you have very small children, they understand. They're adults. So we have an agreement there. But otherwise, you might get a little spooked unless you say something. If you need to say something, say something. We're not trying to get into anyone's personal space.
Listen, that's respectful. I can in many haunts where that didn't happen to me, and I didn't.
Well, that's why you're asking for it a little bit. You kind of went in there.
They like to torture me. I don't know why. I'm the big guy.
Yeah.
But with something like this, like, are there different themes each time? I know you guys have sort of set characters as you've come up with. But do you, when you're planning this out, do you plan out like, okay, we're going to Conjuring, the Last Rites, maybe not those characters, or maybe they are, or is there like a theme to it, what you're going with, when you're planning this out?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a theme besides the upcoming movie. Now, if any of the actors decide, that they want to go for that theme specifically, I know there's a few that we have, there are already none that are planning on coming. And so that kind of fits the theme already. When we did the Exorcist event, my dad actually came and was a priest, and he had Molly the zombie, if you're familiar with the hand puppet zombies. But he had a hand puppet zombie that was dressed as the ex girl or one of them attacking. So we try to theme it, but also it's one of those events that's volunteer for our actors, so they just come to have fun. And if they have their own character that they usually are, I don't want to push it. That's coming, they're scaring people. That's all that matters. They're great for photos, so it's going to be a blast.
Well, actually, to kind of jump onto that, tag onto a little bit and talk about the festivals themselves when you're doing them, is that one that do you incorporate themes in those more when you do them, do you think, or is it the same?
The festival part itself is not necessarily themed, or at least we haven't done that unless it's a holiday festival. So we did HauntFest Christmas Massacre last December, and that was all Christmas.
Okay,
but
cool.
Outside of the holidays, the festivals themselves aren't typically themed, but the haunt, will have its own story each time, and so then that will be kind of, the characters will be themed for that, to the best of our ability, at least, But yeah.
Well, with your two themes coming up, right? Well, not themes, but your two events coming up, I should say. B&B, of course, tomorrow, and then you're doing the HauntFest Mini Fest coming up in October in the tongue twister town of, and I'm going to say it because I love tongue twisters. Historic Hopkins Farm Haunted Hayride in Simpsonville, South Carolina. I love them, but they don't love me. So when you're doing something like that, like I'm guessing, of course, with the hay rides and stuff like that, what do you tend to gravitate more? Like, I guess in what you like doing. Do you like the theaters? Do you like being out, maybe on the hay rides? What is more like your thing?
I guess what I'm most used to is the festival, which is just, I'm running everything, and I just kind of have the venue space. We'll work with a venue like a brewery or something, and they'll have their own staff, but working with vendors, working with entertainers and everything like that, I'm more like most comfortable with. Now, the promo events are always totally different. Like, it's a learning experience each time. The theater, luckily, we've done this before. It's very laid back. It's not stressful at all. Big festivals, crazy stress for me every time. But the Haunted Hayride event, we've never done an event like this. We've never partnered with a haunt in this way, because we're just kind of there outside of their queue line in this huge field. So while people are in line, we'll be there. So if they want to come like through the vendors and buy stuff or see what we got going on, they can just do that and get in line, So this is a new thing. I haven't done it before to be able to say if I love it or hate it, but
okay, that's
we're
fair.
all about trying new stuff. And when somebody comes to us and says, "Hey, I have an idea," might as well learn from each thing you do. So
if I had the money, I'd rent out an actual haunted place. And then like invite a bunch of like paranormal investigators to come investigate it. Then I'd hire you guys.
I would love to buy like Milledgeville or something. Oh my God. That's like my dream.
So is that something you were interested in growing up too? Paranormal investigation, stuff like that? Or just in general, the paranormal?
I definitely in my younger years had some experiences that freaked me and my sister out that like got us interested in that. And then since then I've kind of melded back into the party scene of it all and away from the paranormal scene.
I don't blame you. It's a lot more fun in the party scene for sure. Yeah. So with the events too, and like how many vendors generally bring, just average?
Totally depends on the event. So anywhere from 30 to 100 so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah, first year event is closer to 30, and then our like second or third year events are closer to 100. It's just word of mouth is like the biggest way people know about the event. No matter how much marketing I throw out there, it's always that people telling their friends for the next year. So That's the jump.
Is there any, so going from event to event and always getting ready for the next one coming up, is there any type of like things you want to build off of as you go on? Like, are you like, I want to be scarier now, or I want it to be maybe more party mode or things like that? Like, what are things that you see and maybe have to hit the gas on a little bit more after an event?
Well, I'm going to say this a million times, but there's always something I learned, and, usually the hard way from each event. And one thing from our last event in Athens well, not just the last event in Athens, but all of our previous events that I noticed is the entertainment has not been getting the love it deserves from the crowd. Because I love music. This is another reason that I wanted to pull it into a festival. It's all like darker themed music to kind of fit the festival and everything. But by the end of the night, it's like the people are there for the vendors more than they are for and so they don't really have people listening to them, and it feels icky. I don't like that at all. And so, for instance, for this upcoming year, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., I believe, will be like the market, and there will be music, and because that's just part of it. But from 10 to midnight, we're going to do a Dead Man's Party event. So then it's all focused on the music. So the vendors
boingo, baby, let's do it.
So there's things like that I'll notice over time and be like, okay, this is something that we definitely need to amp up on or change, or and that's a big change for this upcoming event.
Absolutely.
Which that's April Ghouls at Terrapin Beer Company, April 11th and 12th in Athens, Georgia. But that's our fourth, I think, event in Athens. So this is our biggest event so far, and the one that I learned the most from because we keep doing.
I'm old, I'm married, I'm a dad, so puns are always awesome with me. And April Ghouls. Why have I never heard that before? That drives me crazy. I feel like that should have been right there all the time. Yeah. I love it. That's going to be awesome. I really like that idea too with the market. Just 2 to 10 p.m. Get your stuff done, go shopping, talk to the vendors, and then like kick it off. And then that gives the vendors a chance to kind of party too, I think. Yeah, right? That is a good idea. I like that a lot. And that's where is that gonna be? That's down in Georgia as well, or is it in South Carolina? So the April Ghouls event is at Terrapin Beer Company in Athens, Georgia. That's 265 Newton Bridge Road, in case you need to know that. In April. Start driving now. 11th and 12th. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, which, Sunday may sound kind of strange, but we actually get a good crowd of like families and more interactive people on Sundays. So depending on your vibe, Saturday is going to be the party day and Sunday is going to be the more like inner day, I guess. That's really fantastic. I love that. So one thing I do, like, we're a movie podcast. We love movies, especially horror. And we're going to talk about some of our top 5 movie characters that we've been scared by. That's my for you. Like, again, like you're going like, I know you don't like to push any of the volunteers to have to do a certain character, but are there certain characters from movies you like to incorporate or you're fans of that you might want to bring in someday? So, we have several. Okay, the ones that I've been thinking about. We have most of them that come to our events already, and I think they're very fit. Now for haunts, I have a little different of an opinion, just because when I'm thinking of a haunt, I'm thinking like I want to be scared, and when I'm thinking of HauntFest, I'm thinking I want to have a good time. Yeah. So, but I love a good Michael Myers, and in a haunt, I love having. It's a great opportunity for fake. You can have dummies of Michael Myers. No one knows it's real. I love having that kind of aspect to the fear factor, and that's a great character to do that with. Simple too. That all works really well. Yeah. No, not simple of a character point.
No. I was just like, I've just never thought of that, and that's
it's a mask and overalls. Like, I mean, you can get a lot of that, and I think the ghost face are good for like you're trying to make like 5 or 6 mannequins dressed up like those. That's a good costume. Like Jason has different looks and everything. Yeah, and we have a very sarcastic ghost face character at our events that cracks everybody up too. So
listen, heck yeah.
Yeah. Ghost face. We don't mess with ghosts. Those high school kids are scary. Yeah. But actually,
they make.
Well, yeah, Paul, let's talk. You have any questions? I know I love haunts.
Yeah.
You go to as many as you can.
Yes. And
So
I
you might
work
have
as
the
many
new
as
guy
I can.
coming.
Yeah, I was just looking at the calendar. I was like, man, if I didn't have stuff those dates, I'd be volunteering. What made you choose those locations? Yes.
For the mini events or for the bigger events?
For the mini events, since that's in South, what made you choose, I guess, that city in South?
So actually the owner, one of the managers at Historic Hopkins Farms, reached out to me months ago about doing an event there. And at the time I was not really for it. We had done an event there that didn't go so well for me the prior year. And I, had to learn the hard way for one too many things, and so I was like, I don't know if we'll go back there. I was thinking if we go to another state, it'll be a totally different. But over time, I really, thought about it and was like, the second year is always better. And it's always good you have to get your feet on the ground the first. Yeah. And so I reached back out to her and I was like, I've reconsidered. I think it'd be really cool if we could do some sort of collab. And so it was really her idea. And her name's Heather. She's amazing. She actually started the Historic Hopkins Hayride part herself and runs it. She's been running it for, I think, 3 years now. So we're in kind of similar boats. I thought that was pretty neat. And I went and saw the venue. Incredible venue space, especially for HauntFest. And so we've talked already about in 2026 potentially hosting a real HauntFest festival there as well. But we're going to see after... Right. The 24th and 25th of October this year, how that goes. And if we meld well together, it'll be a match made in heaven. It's like a huge wedding venue farm. And so there's tons of parking. There's a whole area to hang out in with a fire pit. It's just perfect for our kind. So
that's fantastic. That's really cool. Yeah, I like those farmhouse haunts. Like not farmhouse, but farm haunts. Like we've been to a couple. And it's always scary. It's always just really scary because it's so pitch black, but it's fun. Like it's a fun time. Yeah. And I like the idea you're going to add music. I like going to festivals and hearing that does. So like when you say that, like nobody's listening, I'm like, that's a shame. Like we always want to go to concerts. Why does nobody stop to watch the band? Yeah. Although I'm a 90s kid. That's pretty much all we did for fun.
Yeah. And I will also say this location is really close to Greenville, which is where we had our big event last year. And so it really worked. The location question, that really worked out well when I looked up where it was and how close it was to what we did previously. So hopefully people are in the area already know us enough, to want to.
I wish you all the best. I think that's really awesome time. And with all your events too, like tomorrow night sounds like a lot of fun. Just if you're walking into the movie theater and you see it just feels like the season. It just feels right.
Yes.
I do want to. I have a question, and Paul, if you have any more, please jump in. But I do have a question about it seems like haunts themselves are trying to become more and more extreme. I don't know that I'm a big fan of that. I'm wondering, how do you feel about it? Like, do you like these the extreme path it's going down? Or I know you like the fun at HauntFest and such, but how about your mazes, or I should say rooms, right? But do you think they could be more extreme? Do you subscribe to that?
I have mixed feelings about it. Yeah, I do extreme aspect, but I know it's not for everyone. I actually went last year to Lake Joy Trails of Terror in Kathleen, Georgia, and they do this extra experience where you can pay extra to get this t-shirt. And as soon as that shirt is on, they can mess with you big time. I mean, you can get thrown in a body bag. You can be, taken off to who knows where. And I don't want to spoil anything, but by the end, every single part to toe in fake blood.
Yeah, that we did one of those in North Carolina a few years ago, and we were asked to come down and record ourselves going through it. Not the event itself, but us going through the event to share on our social media and such. Well, I guess because they knew that, they were like, you can go extra hard on this guy.
Oh my
I will
God.
tell you. It is not for everyone. You are right. Because there was a point where they kept making me go around. I got to the fourth time and I was like, all right, I quit. I'm just going to start hitting. And they left me alone and I walked away. That extreme thing, I want to get, people out there who may like it and get pretty rough. And tiring.
Yeah. But I will say for our, we have a Harvest of Horrors event 2026 in November. So it's a while from now, but it's at a campground. Well, it's at Bobby Brown Park, which was a state park. It's no longer a state park, but it's still basically a state park, right? Yeah. And so they have a ton of camping, water sports, everything. It's great. Awesome place. But with that comes more opportunity. So we're going to test the waters with something somewhat extreme. It's not crazy, but it kind of sounds a little crazy, actually. Having a camping area designated for people who want to be messed with at their campsite after hours. So we're trying to call it night terror. And so from like midnight to 2 or 3 a.m., I think maybe 2 a.m., you can pay to get a campsite in this area, and they will be outside, maybe
That's
chasing you around the woods at night. So that's as extreme as I'm about to test right now. Lots of liability waivers involved. Yeah.
I know what trip I'm going to be paying to take my friends on and not tell them that it's that, and just be like, oh, we're just camping, and just let them be terrified.
Well, if you don't think I'm throwing you at these killers, you have another thing coming to you. As soon as they come around, I'm like, take him. He has an orange shirt, and then I'm going to run. Be Sasquatch into the woods. That's it. I love it though. This is fantastic, and I like that you're doing different venues. You kind of like it feels like you're bringing something new to and I dig that. That's kind of cool. It's not the same thing every time. So very cool. This is a very cool concept and idea. Now, is there any more you want to tell us about before we go into our top 5?
I guess if there are any vendors out there interested in vending for our mini event at the Haunted Hayride, applications close on October 21st. Oh, and if anyone at all is interested in doing trunk or treating, there's also an application for that, just so we have you down and can expect that you're coming. This includes, haunted cars too. If you have a hearse, that's super fitting. We've had hearses at previous events. But if you just have a regular car and you want to trunk or treat for the kids in line, there's a haunted car showcase page on our website, hauntfest.net, where you can sign up for that. And on that website, there's also vendor info page, entertainer info page, and we already have applications out for our events in 2026. So that's our big info. Yeah.
I am putting again. All of this stuff is in our description. You can check it out whether you're watching, listening, or checking this out at a later date. It is down in descriptions. Go check it out. Everything, the vendor, entertainment, tickets, the whole nine. All those links are down there. I want you to go check this out. And I'm adding to the comments right now, hauntfest.net. I want you guys to go and check this out. Support this because it seems like a very awesome adventure that you're putting on here. Especially, I know horror fans are always clamoring. He always wants the haunts, and you do it all year round, which is very
that's amazing.
Before we move on to our top 5 though, is there anything so you have, I just want to cover all our bases. You have tomorrow's B&B at theaters down in Athens, Georgia. You're going to be doing Conjuring the Last Rites. We talked about that. Of course, on October 24th, 5th, you're going to be at historic Hopkins Farms Haunted Hayride, and you will be providing the scares there during the hayride and such. And there's going to be a lot more going on, vendors, things like that, right? Now, and in February on 13th, you have another Haunted Fest going on, and then of course April Ghouls. Is there anything between that time people should look out for, or where can they follow you maybe on social media to find more out about?
Well, firstly, there's one more event on the calendar thus far, which is the Harvest of Horrors, which is November 6th and 7th at Bobby Brown Park, from 5 p.m. to midnight on Friday and 2 p.m. to midnight Saturday, and this is in Elberton, Georgia. And then as far as socials go, our Instagram is at hauntfest.athens. And then Facebook is HauntFest LLC. We have Facebook groups for different states as well. So we have a HauntFest Georgia and a HauntFest South Carolina, and also a HauntFest North Carolina as well. So if you are in any of those states and are only interested in that information, please join the group, and that's where we'll be posting updates for your state. Our TikTok is at HauntFest.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that of our socials,
which are also down below linked, so you can go follow them. But I did want to put it out there, and of course, this is their logo all over. So make sure you go and support. Now we're going to get ready and do our top 5. Oh, Paul, you're not on there. Top 5 movie characters that haunts, and this is where we have a lot of hosts here. He's our main. One of our main hosts, but the other guy was there filling in last week. So we are talking about, I love going to haunts and I love movies. So when I see movie characters at haunts, I get giddy. It's fun. I like being scared by them. I used to go to Halloween Horror Nights quite a bit back in the day when I lived in both those states, but they're showing up more and more now. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of share some of our favorites that we've seen in. Roseann, we're going to have you start off with number 5. What's your number 5 movie character you've seen in all?
All right, so I'm going to go with Michael Myers for the reason that I mentioned before, because I think it is really neat that you can do the pop pop-up scares and the dummies with Michael Myers. So that's my
I love that idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. Paul, what about you? What's your number 5?
You know, I haven't seen it that much at a lot of haunts, but I like going old school with it. So I enjoy a good Frankenstein's pitter-pattering back and forth, slowly just walking.
Now, do you like classic look Frankenstein from the
Yes.
movies, like behind you, or any type of variation?
I kind of like the one behind me, or even like it's a dramatic one of him in green, you know, just some tall.
You're a real snob. You
giant
know,
guy.
there's a lot of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Mine actually, I picked mine with a little bit of a parameter that like these have all scared me at haunts. Harry Warden from My Bloody Valentine. He was at one of the Halloween Horror Nights one year, and he got me real good in the woods. So that's why I'm not too keen on your woodsite and your camping. Too much, but yeah, one of my favorites. All right, what's your number 4, Rose?
So I'm jumping up to Jason next, for a very similar reason, but also for some reason, when I see a Jason versus a Michael Myers, he's like a little bit more intense. Like, I feel like he's more likely to chase me for some reason. I know that Michael Myers chases people, but something about the way he looks gives me just a little bit more fear, but he can still be really still. Like,
Are you a big fan of the Friday movies?
I enjoy them.
I'll ask you this.
I am more, you know, because of the festival stuff. I have some more like personal reasons that I like Jason. Like we had Ari Lehman come for our last Athens event and he played with his band First Jason. So I'm a little, I might be a little biased there for that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you which Jason which look of Jason you prefer. And now I got myself. That's fair. The bias is fair. Paul, what's your number 4?
I'm gonna be selfish and call out Woods of Terror. Good job, Woods of Terror. But they had a Vecna last at theirs, and I thought that was really cool because I'm big into strange, so I thought Vecna was a lot.
I like that. That's a good one. My number 4 is actually Leatherface, and it's more of a representation of the sadistic chain wielding characters that you get. Because I remember when they finally introduced. Now I don't know how long ago it was, but like. I remember we went to Six Flags. They did Fright Fest every year. And when they introduced the chainsaws, it freaked everyone out. And then to being able to see Leatherface in that, because I had to do one where you had to go through the sheets like in the movie and such, and then he popped out. So, you know, I'm not going to say I soiled my drawers or anything, but like I did. It's Leatherface and he's terrible. I hate you. But what's your number 3?
So I put down The Crow. And this is purely like, for me, a visual thing. And also the fact that he can be really fast. So we have someone with HauntFest who does a crow character and just sprints it. And I love that. I mean, it's so terrifying, even if they're not dressed up, for someone to be sprinting at you, you know? And so from my experience with that, I just love the idea of having the crow, because it's very clownish looking. It's very like stark colors and everything. I don't know, just from like a visual aspect and from the like fear of just being ran at. That's where
my number 3 is very similar for that reason. So I'm with it. The Crow. I've never seen the Crow at a haunt, although you guys should know he is the hero tech. But no, that's awesome. I would love to see the Crow. Like that would be weird and fun. And we're all about weird. And Paul, what's your number?
I don't even know what to call it, but at one haunt they had a Purge theme, and those kids sold the shit out of it, and it was terrifying that they were dressed all preppy, covered in blood, saying they wanted to kill me. I was like, this is 100%.
You actually
purged. They purged.
I don't know that I'd want to do a Purge style haunt. No, I dig that though. That's a good one. But Roseann, kind of like what you were saying about the Crow, I chose Ghostface because there's never been a time I've seen Ghostface and he can't run. You know, every haunt he's like ready to run, and I'm like, I don't. So I guess I die or we fight. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I hope you're a teenager. Because if you're a full-grown man, I'm probably gonna die. It's one of those things that like they move too fast, and like that's why I don't mind the Michael Myers. You can't come at me too fast or I'm just done. You will get me to scream. But what is your number 2?
So my number 2 is actually Leatherface, because I'm all about the gore and I don't know. I love the aesthetic. It's kind of messed up. I love the aesthetic of like, because I'm from a small southern town, okay, and I look around at some scary people already, and it's just so much more hitting home with a character like Leatherface, because I feel like I could walk into any of these abandoned farmhouses out here and he might be in there. And so for me, that's like a personal like that freaks me out, but I'm so enamored by it when I go on a haunt. Any sort of like cannibalistic area, I just love it. I eat it up. I don't know why.
But hopefully not literally. No, that's a great choice of words. But no, I mean, that makes sense. Like it is. That's very cool too. That's dressing that make, the Sawyer's house and stuff. I've seen it in certain haunts of Leatherface. It's such a cool, it's a cool atmosphere for it. And I think that's why those movies work so well. But Paul, what's your number 2?
I was pleasantly surprised at a different haunt. I think maybe last year. They had Art the Clown. And they didn't announce it or anything. You just turned a corner and he's just there with the trash bag. And they did a really good job on their makeup. And that I was like, hell about that.
Yeah, that's definitely another one. Just because but cool gore effect. Mine is, again, one that freaked me out. The movie freaks me out, and I've been haunted by him in a haunt. Sackhead from The Stranger. I think it's creep. All right, I don't care what anybody says. It's one of the creepiest in. Hey, let's get to our number ones. What do you got?
All right, my number 1 was actually Art. We do have also an Art, we did at our last an Art the Clown that just blew me away. I mean, the fear factor just looking at him from a distance, like he didn't have to even meet eyes with you, but it was just scary to see. So just thinking about being in a haunt with an Art the Clown, which I've never been in a haunt with an Art the Clown, but I imagine it would scare the crap out of me. Yeah. I mean, in a good fun way, but also, my God.
And when you're safe, it's fun. Yeah. With Art the Clown, it's like, I don't know if he exists. This dude's doing everything these days. He's everywhere. Yeah, that's definitely a character right there. That's a good choice. No. I don't want to. I'm luckily have not seen him yet in haunts, but I'm sure I will soon. What do you got for me? What's your number 1?
So I'm gonna go with Michael Myers, but I'm gonna tell you because I worked at a haunt. Right, this Michael Myers, I never saw him out of costume. He just show up, and they pay him somehow, so they knew who he was, but. He just stand in random places the whole time. Like, even as someone that worked there, like, you could be going to the bathroom and he's just standing right. Never said anything, never talked to anybody. And he'd just be in random places the whole time. Like, you'd be going to your car, just be standing right there next to your car, just chilling with a knife. I was like, I don't know if you actually work here or you don't, because, yeah. And I have no idea who you are.
That would be very unsettling. When I went to see it at the drive-in, the second one, they did a double feature when the second one came out, and Pennywise walked around and just looked at cars. Nah, I'm good. Mine is a little unconventional for my number 1. It's from a movie I think is great, but I don't think a lot of people see it anymore, is Dead Silence, and that's Mary Shaw. I was in one haunt with her once, and they had all the dolls out and everything, all the ventriloquist dolls and stuff. And she was the actor they put in this role for this haunt was fantastic. She was just kind of lingering until it was time to come out of nowhere and then like show up out of the shadows and freak you out. It was wild. And so she's my number 1, Mary Shaw from Dead Silence. Thank you guys so much for doing the list and hanging out and having a fun time. I love that list, Roseann. That's fantastic. And I appreciate you being a good sport about it, because I know when I asked for it, I'm like, this is a lot of words. Like, I don't know if I'm asking this properly. But no, very solid list, and we appreciate it. And we really appreciate you coming on and talking to us tonight about haunt. And is there anything before let us know if there's anything you want to kind of put out there, about HauntFest? If sign up now for vendors, of course. You've let us know. We've talked about that. Entertainment. Is there anything else that you have open right now that people can see if maybe volunteer or work for?
Yeah, there's also general event staff, volunteers. We always need those because people always jump on the scare acting, which is awesome. We love our scare actors, but also we barely get any event staff. So we're in great need of event staff for every event. We could definitely put you to work. And it's a great team. We all love each other. We get snacks and drinks and all the stuff, and bring your friends. And then scare acting as well. So our scare actors have an application. There's a job applications tab also at hauntfest.net. Pretty much everything you could ever need to know is on hauntfest.net, unless you want to see our like vendor highlights and event highlights, stuff like that. That'll be on our site. Yeah,
and that's all down below, like I said, and we'll be sharing that out on social and such too. Go support this. This seems like a very awesome venture you're on, and I want to see you keep going, because haunts are special and they're important. I believe that as a horror fan. But before we let you go, I have to ask, do you have any, and it could be any genre, it doesn't have to just be horror, or it could be all horror, whatever you want. Do you have some movie recommendations from you to us and our audience that we should check out? Yes,
I will say that I made a list of 4, and you probably know most, if not all of them already. But I'm thinking of just some that I know and love. Pulp Fiction. Love Pulp Fiction. Classic. Quentin Tarantino movies in general. I love it. You know, like I said, I love the gore and I love humor. And so the combination of the two is just fantastic. Natural Born Killers. I just saw this somewhat recently.
Tarantino written.
Yeah. I thought it was super cool. The way that it's kind of filmed from the main characters' perspectives, almost in their insanity. It's like you share their insanity with them until a certain point that things become clear. And so I remember first watching that movie and being like, what's going on? And then it just kind of feels more sane, but also less sane the more you watch it. It's just a really interesting watch. If anyone hasn't seen that. Tropic Thunder, also classic. Silly War. It's one of those that a little sketch, but I love it still. And then Bad Times at the El Royale is one that a lot of people, when I bring that up, have never seen or heard of, but really enjoy that. It's got a Hemsworth, if any of that. But
it has Cynthia Erivo. She plays the Wicked Witch in the Wicked movie. She's in it too. She's fantastic in that movie.
She is.
Lewis Pullman was really young in that movie too. Bull Pullman's son, who just was in the Thunderbolt. So like you have a lot of emerging talent in that movie. Like Chris Hemsworth is like, even Dakota Johnson when she was young is in that movie. Like before, the big stardom started to come for all of them. I think Hemsworth was like the biggest one at that point. And but he's like not even like, he's a good character, but he's not that important to the story.
Yeah. I love movies that are all like, here's the stories of individual characters and how they connect. And this is one of those that's just one of those mind-blowing kind of movies. Nice. I love that. But
being a Quentin, I love those. Those are amazing recommendations. Thank you. First of all, anything Tarantino, sure. And also, if you've never seen it, and I'm sure you have because you're a Tarantino fan, True Romance. He wrote that one too. And it was so good. And I thought just the script in general, the act. But I want to ask before you get going, now that I know you're a Tarantino fan, they are doing a Cliff TV series from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt character, but it's David Fincher doing it. Huh. So do you think like a character like that fits in the hands of someone else, another filmmaker? Purely opinion, I promise. I'm not going to hold it to you if you change your mind.
I think as far as changing the actor for that character.
No, it's Brad Pitt. He's coming back.
But
it's just David Fincher's taking over. He's going to do a TV series rather than Tarantino. He just got the blessing.
Yeah, I did not know about this until you just said it, so it's kind of blowing my mind.
That's something to look up for.
I don't even know how to answer that. It's kind of against everything that I feel is right to take something and give it to someone else and trust them completely with it to make it, fit the way it should, I guess. But maybe there's no way that it should fit. Maybe I shouldn't feel like that, maybe I should open my heart a little.
There it is. There it is. That's the perfect answer. And that's what I'm going to go with too. Because my jury's still out on it, but I love Fincher.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you so much for joining in. Please feel free to come back anytime if you have any other events coming up. April Ghouls, especially. I love that. I love that title. But don't worry. But I want to say thank you so much, Roseann, for coming by, hanging out with us, talking to us about HauntFest. I wish you all the best. We'll be supporting. If you have anything that you want us to share out while you're getting ready and everything, please feel free to, and I'll be happy to. Please feel free to join us anytime. We're always having a good time here on the show. But I want to say thank you, and we're going to let you go. We're going to close out the show. But before you go, is there anything else you want to say before you get going?
Not really. I guess just thank you guys for having me. It's been a blast talking to you guys. And also happy haunting, everyone. I know that's about to... We're almost there in the season, like kind of right now, honestly. So
I feel like Halloween season should just start on September 1st.
It basically does, yeah.
It starts on July 5th, guys.
That's July 5th.
For us, it starts on January 1st. So we're all year round.
You guys... Yeah. Halloween's all year round for HauntFest, and that's the best part about it. So go check out HauntFest.net. Like I said, all the links are down below. Follow them. Make sure you keep up with everything. Thank you again, Roseann, for joining us. We appreciate you. We're going to let you go, and thank you guys for joining in and hanging out. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Oh, I cut her off. I feel so bad. I'm so bad at that. Dude, that sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, when I was looking it up, I was like, "What is this?" I would have gone to this 2 years ago. Like, I need to go. Like, if I didn't already have something those dates, I'd go this year. I'm definitely
Well,
going to
that's the cool part about it. It's only like, because again, they have one in November, then they have one in February, and then April. So you can't, like, that's the nice part. You have chances.
Yep.
And that's the cool thing. Like, I mean, when we do our work with Carolina Fear Fest, we meet a lot of haunts, we meet a lot of different types of characters and stuff like that, players, such. But it's never like all year round. Like there's never opportunity all the time. So it's kind of cool that something like this exists. And it sounds like a very cool party. I want to go desperately as soon as I can get down to Georgia because I'm too up far. You lucky bastard. You're all the way down there in the south doing cool. But, we're gonna get going on to our final segment. Of course, that's the mix movie picks, but for the next 2 months it's actually Sturdy's movie picks. He's supposed to be on this one. He wasn't supposed to be on the last one because you're joining me, but he is on this one because this is Sturdy's movie picks from 1995 for Does It Suck, and 1994 for Class Review. So, and if you guys are interested, you can go check out any one of our Does It Sucks or classic film reviews over on the channel. We pick out different movies. The Does It Sucks, they're like the cult classics or the forgotten or hidden gems or the ones that bombs that people hated when it came out but maybe start liking now. I revisit all those things. Then we do a little short brief history about it and I share my review. You can check those out. Castle Freak will be next Tuesday. And then for this was a first time watch for me, Wolf. Yeah, he gave this to me in 1994. I remember it. I love Nicholson, so I'm surprised I never had seen it. And I love Michelle Pfeiffer. She's one of my favorite actors. So I got to sit down and finally watch this one when he gave it to me. And I loved it. I'm like, it's a Mike Nichols film. He's an auteur. He did The Graduate, MASH. He's done, Altman did MASH, sorry. He did The Graduate. What else? He did, I don't have it all in front of me at the moment, but Wolf is one where he kind of went against his genre. Ennio Morricone did the music for this, and it's interesting. But I love Ennio's work. In this, it gets a little jazzy at times, which sort of works within the framework of it being high society. But yeah, Jack Nicholson plays a book editor who gets bit by a wolf and then starts to become one. And Michelle Pfeiffer plays the woman in love with him because, she was in her, 30s and he was in his 60s. And I guess that makes sense. But, whatever. It's all that animal magnetism. Although James Spader plays a pretty cool werewolf. He's a good bad guy. Have you ever seen this one? You never seen Wolf? You got to watch these.
No, sorry. I've seen Wolf. I thought you... Anyway.
Oh, you never seen Castle Freak? Oh, dude, that's up your alley, man. That's a Stuart Gordon movie right there. And then we did it for Does It Suck? I don't think it ever really sucked. I think it's an acquired taste. You'll love it.
Okay.
I think it's an acquired taste for... Yeah, dude. This is up here. This is a Charles Band. You love Full Moon. So, this is one that I think... But it has that Lovecraftian Stuart Gordon vibe. So it worked well. So I think you really... check that one out. We have that for Does It Suck? Again... For the next 2 months, all of our movies are completely supplied by our guest curator, Sir Sturdy from Sturdovision. We thank him so much for hanging out with us and, helping me put together these lists. In November, Trevor Stottlemyre from Ambassador Radio is going to be our guest curator for Does It Suck and classic film reviews, and we are going to be doing crime drama. So I'm excited for that. But... I have a few more messages. First, we'll get to Complete Film Dictionary. Why? Because we love knowledge. I was a filmmaker. So I guess I am still. Kind of. All right.
I feel like you don't lose it. I feel like
you don't really lose it. You become out of practice with it. I broke out my camera the other day because I'm practicing certain shots because I finished a screenplay. So I'm looking for... Thank Congrats. You. Oh, dude, I can't wait for you to check it out. I'm looking for a producer, but I've never, other than shorts, I've never directed. So, and even my shorts were not good. So I understood the idea of it, but I do know my level of back then when I did. But then I got into producing and I never really gravitated back to direct writing. Let's face facts, I edited more than I wrote, but I would do more of the writing and then more of the produce. But I want to direct this one. So
heck yeah.
And I want to fund it on my own. So if you want to give me money, please have a very cool script. It's called Mick Takes All of Your Money and Runs. No, I'm just kidding. That's the worst way to get funding for a movie. What's the title? I'm Going to Steal and Run. So I am super stoked about it, but I've been flexing that filmmaker mind, pulling out my camera, pulling out some light, frame certain shots a certain way, using a lot of my kids' toys. That's like
Heck
subjects, because I don't have like all the characters and such, when act. But anyway, is there anything you want to learn before I pick something out randomly? I know.
Not that I know off the top of my head. So yeah,
I'm sure that's coming in the next.
Oh yes, it is. So many more questions.
Well, I've talked to everybody. Oh, dude, feel free. I'm happy to talk about it. I don't get to talk about filmmaking as much anymore. I talk a lot about movies because of what we do, but on the other side, I don't really get to talk. I'm going to go with something a little shorter, but I think it's important, and that's micro cinematography. There's micro and there's macro. We're going to do micro. The photography of very small objects by means of a micro, also called cinematography and cinema photo micrograph, and these are all dated terms. Just really focus on micro cinematography. It's an interesting. It's not off. We have seen it. I would say the most prevalent we've seen is probably the 60s and 70s, where we see those shots where they're kind of like shooting really small things through a microscope. It's a niche thing in movies. I'm trying to think of a good, for the next episode, I'm going to come up, I'm going to get some frames for you, so that way I can show you sort of but it is one that's interesting. It's something that if you have it in your movie and you're really trying to show something, it can be effective in the way you frame. So we'll talk about that more when I have some actual, but I'm glad I did pick that one because I do want to practice. But like I said, guys, with that, of course, Does It Suck next Tuesday is Castle Freak. Next Friday, we will be doing Wolf for class review, but there's something we need to talk about, and that is the Family Drive-In, which is a local drive-in in Stevens City, Virginia. They're having some trouble. The owners want to sell the land on them, and that could mean certain doom for this wonderful drive-in that's been around since the 60s, and they are an awesome place. This weekend, of course, they're going to be doing their up all night marathon and so. Or no, they just did their up all night marathon. This one, they're going to be doing Jaws and Bad Guys 2 and The Conjuring and Weapons. I think I'm going to go see The Conjuring 4 at the drive-in and support there. And of course, that's another look at it. It is a gorgeous theater. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of history there, and they're in a lot of trouble. They need to raise a certain amount of money. So I'm going to be from now on, and we're going to be talking about this on the shows. We're going to be trying to help them out. We're going to be doing a fundraiser where we do Back to the Future Part 2. So we are going to be looking for actors. It's a script read. It's a live stream event where we do it for charity under our Casters for a Cause banner. If you guys know anything about like the charity events we've done long live streams we call fundathons. We've done script reads, and we're going to do Back to the Future Part 2 because we did Part 1. That's going to be coming up in October, either the 17th or 24th. Still trying to work it out. Again, we're looking for actors, things like that. But we're also always looking for people to put out the word. This is all going towards Family Drive. I will be sharing out the links so you can donate. They also have a merch store that is all going towards raising funds for it as well. So you can go check that out. Super stoked for this. I love the Family Drive-In. And you guys should too. Go help them out. Let's keep the cinema alive, right? Especially Drive. But how about you, buddy? You got anything you want to add before we get going?
I wish I knew more of the details. So at the car wash I work at, we just did school supply donations for them. And I know one of the administrators had brought up, it really helped because it sounded like it wasn't even budget cuts, like teachers have been laid off or something bad, and I'm sorry, you guys, for anyone who's actually a teacher. But anyway, I know it's not good. If you know a teacher, help a teacher. If you can, help school supplies. I know I said it last week, but I'll say it again. If you can afford just to buy some pencils or glue sticks or anything to help the schools out, do what you can. If you can, because I get not everyone can. But if you're able, absolutely should.
Yeah, and I mean, any little bit helps. A lot of teachers have links that you can go and donate to so they can get supplies as well. Even just sharing that stuff out means a lot. Something like HauntFest, helping them out. Share the links when you see them, when we post them. Like Paul's saying, we'll even add some in there if you want to grab me some links. I'm happy to start sharing stuff out. I do believe in that. I think teachers need help. They're doing the best they can. And it's a high-pressure job. It really is. You can't take care of 2 kids for 12 hours straight. They take care of 30. But yeah, no, for sure. And, again, the Family Drive-In, they could really use the help. They're trying to raise the money so that way they can own the land and they can start doing it. They're going to be having some big charity events coming up. And we'll be doing one too. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. You got to follow us, you got to subscribe, and hit that like so that way we know, when everything's coming out, what's going on, or that notification bell, but hit that like too. All that stuff really helps, and we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Anything you want to add before we go again? I know you want to add your little.
Keep watching, keep listening, keep loving the magic of movies.
I like that. Don't make fun of it. I like when you say that. That's why I like expect it. Like not expect. I shouldn't. That's rude. But that's why. I expect it. I tell you said. I remember the first time you said that too. We were live and like I forget who we were with. It was me, you, and somebody else. And I was like, Paul, you got anything you want to add? And you said that, and I was just like, that's awesome. I was like, that's different. And I missed it the past couple of putting a light on. But thank you guys again so much. Thank you for joining, supporting. Please share it out. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. That helps us on the YouTube channel. But if you're listening to this in the podcast, rate and review us. That's a big deal, and that really helps us a lot. Gets the name out there, stuff like that. We're all over on all podcast platforms. We're celebrating 6 years in October. It's been a long time. October 6th is our 6-year anniversary for the Scene Snobs podcast and the YouTube channel. Of course, we are also going to be celebrating on October 31st. Live, big event, Halloween night. Might have to get scared ourselves. It's going to be our 400th episode. I'm surprised if our 300th fell on Halloween night too, but that was back when we were on Tuesday.
That's kind of spooky.
I know. Now our 400. Well, it's not spooky if you plan it properly, as in like, wow, this is our 300th episode. And then just plan as you go, and then make sure you do. You know, sort of be a slave driver, even if it's just me, because I can't do it. You're too pretty. I need you to keep young and pretty. You're the face of this show.
I got a face for podcasts. My mom always knew it.
You do. You know. Let me bitch at you for a minute. Before I go, when I say, "Hey, Paul," or I say something and then you're like, and you point at yourself, podcast listeners don't know you're doing that.
But I know. there's a pride. I'm like, I was pointing at myself right then, you guys.
You're going like this. I'm like, what would help in this moment if you just said, oh, I like that or something, but whatever.
I'll get better. Or I'll just say I'm pointing at myself.
You have a face for podcasting and a voice for silent. I went there. All right. I keep picking up. I want to say thank you guys again. Watch, listen, hang out with us. Stay snobby, stay classy, and remember to take care of yourselves. That's important. Kind rewind, and I will talk to you next Friday. Later.